This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Opinion Leaders. And today we have something really special for you. Well, this is something that's also a learning experience for me because I'm a very clumsy individual. And with us is a group of professionals. And we'll start off. My first guest is Dr. Sixto Carlos, a veterinarian. And then, of course, we have Mr. Alfred Gialogo and Mr. Jericho Viejo. And all of you guys are here to talk about training with traditional weapons. And before we start, I'd like to say thanks so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you for
inviting us.
Okay, guys, we have a lot of things here on the set now, and we've been talking about weapons, martial arts, and everything. I guess, Doc, since you're the founder, can I ask you how you started this and what inspired you?
Okay, I started training with weapons 1990. Kasi prior to that, I used to train typical in karate, taekwondo, boxing.
The traditional martial arts.
Yeah, traditional martial arts. Tapos I realized weapons fighting is different. Kasi once paglabas ka ng knife, once your opponent has a blade, the equation of fighting changes.
I see. When you say it becomes more, yung para bang more deadly or something more...
Yes, once weapons are pulled out, the fight becomes deadlier.
So it could actually end somebody's life instantly.
Exactly.
When weapons are used.
Are involved, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, what 1990? So you were still pretty young then. So what inspired you to do this? Like, is there anything in particular that because when I was a kid, it was all about idolizing certain. During our time, uso si Voltes 5, si Mekande, we wanted to do those crazy things, and diba, we would get injured jumping from one place to another trying to imitate. Did that have any para bang may contribution ba yan doon?
Meron, kasi I was a child of the 70s. I was a Voltes 5 fan. All of us were, right?
Yes,
so,
we all were, yeah.
Di ba sa ending, lagi siyang may laser sword.
And then he would cut in that V formation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ever since napapanood ko yun, I've always wanted how to learn how to use a sword. Tapos I remember there was this movie, si Tony Ferrer. He was fighting this Japanese guy who had a sword and he survived. Yeah, it made me curious on how to use weapons and how to defend against it.
Okay, and then you guys got together as a group. Kailan ba yun? Sir Alfred, you're the first champion, right?
Of Duelo, yes.
Of Duelo, yes.
I've known him for decades already because his reputation as someone who's very good with weapons is well known in the circles I move around in. But it was only around 3 years ago that I was able to train with him. And as I've said, magaling na magaling siya with weapons and kilalang kilala siya. So everyone in the group napapagaling niya. So we decided, since we're already doing this, why don't we do an event na we can showcase yung mga kaya natin gawin. And that's how Duelo was created.
Okay, so para bang it was really generation ninyo, kayo lang talaga nito. And do you integrate, kasi diba it's basically martial arts, right?
Yeah.
And is there any tweaking? Para bang, kasi ngayon diba sa pagkain, let's say, uso ang fusion. may pagka-fusion rin ba itong ginagawa ninyong martial arts?
Okay, ang base namin actually kasi ang focus namin sa Duelo is long weapons.
Okay. And andito yan. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan. Si Jericho, you make some of this also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll
For the
ask you to
training.
explain it later. But
Okay, our focus sa Duelo is the use of long weapons. Ang first na nagturo sa akin was the late Mang Tony Diego. He was the heir of Carlos Illustrissimo. He was a student of a great Filipino organisador, Tatang Illustrissimo. Mang Tony was his student. Now, si Mang Tony, namili siya ng selected students, na tinuruan niya ng dos manos. Dos manos is the use of two-handed weapons.
two-handed weapons. Okay.
Here in the Philippines, it's a Filipino martial art. Ilan lang marunong, again, because Mang Tony selected who to teach.
Wow. So you have to be, parang he would not teach anybody, just anybody. Kailangan you have to be qualified in his eyes.
Yes.
Okay. Parang it's like the traditional, you have a master and then you have a
Jedi.
Padawan.
Parang Jedi. Yeah.
Okay. And then, Jericho, how did you start making the weapons and what inspired? Iba-iba itsura di ba? May mga
Yes.
mukhang samurai sword, may ito kamukha ni yung sword ni King Arthur.
William Wallace.
William Wallace.
Pero ibang kwento yun.
Yeah, that's a different story. Actually, I was a late joiner. I was usually training with hand-to-hand. And then, just this year, I actually started training with Doc for knives. And then, nabanggit ko lang, there was one session na I asked, do you also teach two-handed swords? And then when he said yes, di na bumalik sa knife. So because that's something like most of us, childhood, yun.
Right.
So when he started teaching me, nag-specialize ako into that. That's usually what I learn under him. And then that resulted in me being a little bit more passionate on this side of the Carlos Hermanos school.
Okay.
Kaya nung nag-Duelo 1, and then again nung Duelo 2, I was using the two-handed weapons. So yun yung tinatry kong magpagaling.
Okay, so Duelo is the competition.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Okay, so
competition.
Duelo 1, si Sir Alfred ang champion.
Yes.
What was your experience? Maybe the first.
It was very fun for me. I really enjoy I enjoy fighting. Being able to apply what you actually trained for. And the atmosphere naman is very friendly. It's not, if you get to hurt someone, magagalit sa'yo, hindi naman ganon. So,
Okay.
it was a very understanding or a very knowledgeable crowd about the art. So, magagawa mo talaga kung ano yung trinain mo.
Okay.
So, I really had a lot of fun hitting all of them.
Okay, hitting all of them talaga. Pero you guys, ano yung preparasyon na ginagawa ninyo? For example, syempre martial arts, like any sort of self-defense, so it requires focus, it requires discipline, it requires yung para bang soundness of mind and body as well as coordination. So paano ninyo how do you train for that? Because I know you guys are all professionals, diba? So para bang this is just really a passion.
Yeah.
You gotta find time for it. Like, I gotta find time for my dogs. I finish work at 11. So if I stay up till 2 a.m., wala eh. It's my passion. Parang ganun.
Again, like you said, it's a passion. We find time odd times, afternoons, evenings, kung kailan pwede. Kasi normally, di ba dinadala mo aso nyo sa amin, I see your dogs mornings. Late afternoon, uwi na ako, then we train.
Oh, okay. That's neat. That's good. So
Pero-
para bang binibigyan nyo talaga ng oras.
Yes, pero hindi siya actually regular. It's whenever we're free.
So meron mga ibang mga pagkakataon, mahaba ang training, may mga iba walang training,
Yeah,
and then there's
yes,
sometimes a
yes,
short
yes.
lang training. So whatever you guys can put into it. Jericho, can you show us a little bit about some of the weapons that you made and kung ano yung ginagamit and for what?
Yeah, okay. So when we do the competitions, we use single sticks only. It's
Parang
flexible.
arnis to, no?
Yeah. It's flexible. So if you hit somebody with it, it's not gonna hurt that much.
Okay.
It stings, but it's not gonna
Pero
break.
it's not gonna break anybody's bone.
But the issue that I found personally was that if you hold the stick, it looks like a stick. you don't get the feel of a flat or an edge, which is what bladed weapons are
Right.
known for. So, makulit lang ako. I was asking Doc for permission. Okay, can I experiment with some of your sticks? And came up with a simple design that's, kasi yung mga trainers are expensive eh. Like if you look online for yung mga nylon swords and ano, it begins to become an expensive hobby if that's the route you're going to take.
Right.
So, since we have rattan, it's well known in the Philippines, might as well use
Abundant.
that material,
Right.
right? So, the idea is, I put 2 sticks together, and that's your flat, and this is your edge, and that's it.
And then
So-
ito, can I see a
Get
finish?
one of
Ito,
them.
finished product.
Yeah, sure.
Sige,
So you
pakuha,
can
yan.
Get that one.
Ito, ako na ang hawak.
Um,
Yeah, so you actually, it's different. So you have the handle of a sword,
Yes.
and then you have the 2 arnis bound together, tapos medyo sharp yung.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sharp na blunt.
Blunt. It's blunt,
Yeah.
just to give the appearance of a point.
Nice.
Yeah, so basically, the thing here lang is right
Galing,
now, at the moment,
Ah,
you spar with this, it will hurt.
okay.
So part of our development in the Carlos Hermanos school is also to create the correct armor for it. Maybe you can invite us back when we unveil that. It's
Yeah,
still
sige,
under
sige.
development.
It's still
but
under development.
for now, this is what we use for training.
For training.
Ah.
And when you train, you use these things also, itong yung helmet.
Yeah.
And then para bang body suit, para to buffer some of the.
But truth to tell, kapag kami lang, we don't use any
We
armor.
don't wear that.
We just use
From the
headgear.
We
lang.
just use the headgear.
We go all out.
There's a lot of videos of that on the internet.
So paano yan? So
Huh?
talagang you open yourself up to being whacked by these.
Kasi if you wear armor, the tendency is you do not defend yourself. You just absorb. So we realized,
Parang susugod ka lang. kasi
Sugod
alam
ka lang
mo,
para
meron.
False sense of
I get
security.
it.
So-
False
so kung may
sense.
pain-
That's very that's a good point. I like that.
kung may pain, mas iilag ka once you get hit na masakit, direct hit, second time iilag ka na eh.
It's a very good teacher.
Diyan mo mas madidevelop yung instinct mo for proper reflexes.
Yes. I think the term for that is blade awareness.
Sorry?
Blade awareness.
Blade awareness.
yeah.
Okay. But do you your competitions are with the actual ito talaga? Ito ba? Or
We
maybe
still stick with although in the future, our plan is when proper protection has been created.
Right, which is the one you're
specifically for what we
developing
want,
now. Yeah.
Then we'll use those already.
Okay.
But for now, we're still using this so that it's safe. I mean,
Safer.
safety first.
This is just yung para bang in the development of the
Yes.
sport.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, wow, that's really neat. Ang galing. So, it's basically Filipino, Filipino-inspired pa rin ba tayo?
Yes.
Still.
Yes.
Yes. Filipino
That's nice.
inspired. Yes. yes.
And how are you getting, before we go on Gap, what are you guys doing to promote this, yung para bang on the national level? Or do you have more
Actually,
plans?
that's what Duelo is there for.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's creating interest for something that was ignored a few years back or decades back.
Decades back.
We all know about our knees, those short sticks, but no one ever talks about fighting with those manos longer sticks. But now there's interest because of our videos during the Duelo tournament
Pinakita yan sa akin ni Doc.
circulating around.
Okay, so para bang yun ang nagiging showcase,
That
no?
is that's the catalyst for it.
Yeah.
But of course, we will work towards getting more interest for it.
Okay.
Hopefully, they'll adapt it in schools or ganyan.
As part of a training program, di ba? Okay. Sige, mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan na in-depth, especially the competition, when we return. So don't go away, opinion leaders. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to Opinion Leaders, and still on the topic of fighting with traditional weapons, of course, with my guest, the founder, Dr. Sixto Carlos, and Mr. Fernan Imperial, and Mr. Dax Cordero, and another set ito. So, Doc, sila naman, ano what do they do I mean, yung para bang as part of the group, ano yung contributions and ano,
Okay,
yung strengths.
first, si Fernan, he's been with me for over 7 years, I think. 7, 8 years. Kasi dati, we used to do jiu-jitsu together and this other martial arts, sarian. When he got older, mas interested siya sa weapons, so he approached me
Okay.
7, 8 years ago, and he's been training ever since.
So once you go to weapons, you never go back. Ikaw, Dax.
Well, I started late because all my life I've been practicing, karate and then all these other martial arts. But then as I got older, I found na parang you can no longer compete with the younger, martial artists. So parang the natural transition was to weapons, no? Kasi parang mas kayo have an advantage.
At saka skills yun eh. Parang it's not yung para bang like martial arts or tennis, ganon. It's really age, ano eh. Yung
Yes,
parang,
yes,
diba, nandun there's a limit na,
Age matters.
yeah, age matters. You have limitation with age. But if you're skilled with weapons, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're skilled.
It still does, but again, if you have a weapon, it gives you an advantage.
Okay. Pero, with you guys, diba, starting off with traditional martial arts, parang meron bang kulang? Parang, or
Maybe
it's just an integration of weapons into the basic skills of martial arts?
The concepts,
Yeah.
basic concepts,
Yeah.
maybe.
Like of duelo, of the competition, paano yun? How is a typical competition like?
Okay, kasi basic concepts are, lahat naman ng martial arts more or less similar yan eh. Pero there are specifics. For one, with weapons, kung di ka maingat, if you get hit, you may get fractured. So dapat mas maingat ka. Mas conscious ka sa defense eh. Kasi again, when you get punched, hindi naman lahat ng buntal nakaka-knockout eh. With weapons, kung weapons
Lahat yan,
may
ha?
power eh. Again, kung di ka umilig na maayos, makailig na maayos, you will get hurt.
And then it could impair you for doing your normal stuff, di ba? Like, syempre, like, ikaw, dentist, doktor, kailangan nyo yung mga kamay ninyo. Eh. So, para bang, although passion ito, syempre, you also have to...
Fernan has, fractures.
Oh,
Tinamaan.
tapos, paano yun? How long did it keep you out?
They would last a couple of months, but still, try to
Still.
stay active.
Stay active and then after the fracture, tuloy pa rin uli.
Yeah.
Wow, ako nung na-fracture ako, hindi pa ako nagte-tennis ever since. Although I should. It's been like 4 years. So, the competitions are held every year?
It's bago pa lang. We've had 2 competitions so far. Actually, every few months.
Every few months.
Every few months.
Where do you hold them?
The first one was in my dad's backyard. Medyo malaki eh. Backyard ng dad ko. So we decided, doon na natin gawin. The second one, we had at Elorde Sports Center
Okay.
sa Sukat.
And then, para bang after that, napapansin nyo ba maraming nagiging, you get, especially when they watch the videos on YouTube, yung
Yes.
nagkakaroon ng general interest.
Actually, nung sa second tournament namin, there was a Japanese sword practitioner. He was Filipino. Na yun ang naarga. Sumali eh. Sinubukan niya eh. So, yeah, we are getting interest from other clubs from other places. So,
And how long does a typical match last?
1 minute,
1 minute.
actually.
1 minute. So 1 minute of incredible intense.
yes, it's very intense.
It's very intense, right? So, how do you prepare for it? Like, meron pa bang, like, di ba, syempre, when you're running, there are certain exercises, there's certain, prepare for a marathon, you have to start running long distances, and para bang changing your pace, ganun, to be able to, let's say, compete with weapons, to fight using weapons. Like ako, I'm a very clumsy person, and practically everything I touch, para bang I'd hurt myself more than my opponent. For me, may pag-asa pa ba meron rin? Ano ang kailangan kong gawin sa mga ganyan? Paano?
Actually, it's all repetition, really. Kasi I'm like you. I'm flat-footed. I don't really have natural skill. But if you Kasi ang sinestress ni Doc Sixto is paulit-ulit lang talaga whatever he teaches. Like he actually just teaches us like an average of once a week.
Once a week lang.
But
Once
it's
or
up to you. It's up to you to be able to continue that on your own. Like, ang isa sa mga favorite niya pinapagawa sa amin is yung pinapalo yung gulong. So you get a stick, and then you hit that tire like hundreds of times literally. And then after that, parang sanay na sanay ka na you don't even have to think about it anymore. No. So to answer your question, yes, may pag-asa pa.
May
You know?
pag-asa
Yeah, of
pa.
course,
So,
yeah.
anybody can actually get into it and be successful.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
yes.
Ikaw, Hernan, how did you, like, para bang, how did you start after the fractures? Para bang, siyempre, pagka na-fracture ka, may konting ilag factor yan, masakit eh.
No, it was part of the learning process. Actually, the fractures happened later on, sort of towards mid of the 8 years I've been actively seeing Doc Sixto. What happened was, like you, I studied away for a little while. We started with Sarian. That's where I first met Doc Sixto, and then went into jiu-jitsu. And my jiu-jitsu instructor was really actively searching for Doc Sixto to teach him. And it's not easy to get Doc Sixto because he's a busy man. You know, he's in demand. So yeah, and when he finally got to convince Doc Sixto to teach him, luckily, I was one of the students of the jiu-jitsu guy. So,
Okay.
but then I went abroad, and I felt I didn't have anything to show those guys that I was training with Muay Thai and everything. So when I came back, I decided to seek Doc Sixto's instruction. So that was all Carlos Hermanos for the first 3 or 4 years. Yeah, and it was good. It was good. I really learned a lot. You know, when I'm in that backyard, it's sort of a form of escape for me. I don't really
So,
think of anything.
So para bang you forget your name, you forget whatever it is, yung kung baga yung mga responsibilities nyo sa buhay.
Yeah.
And then when you come back, then you're refreshed because yung
Exactly.
unlike if you're thinking about it all the time, it'll never leave. So para ba ngayon, parang it's just like a cathartic expression, ganun ba yun?
Could be.
Tama
You could
ba
see it
yun?
as that.
Yes, I would
So,
say.
so basically, Doc, it's really about integrating weapons into martial arts, whatever it is, whether it's jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, whatever, you can use any ba yun? Kahit,
Again,
kasi ikaw nagtuturo eh. So, meron ka bang template? Is it more with the feet? Is it,
kasi what I do is I check your background. If you've done other martial arts, let's say boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, I would check eh. Kasi I do not teach commercially. I teach in small groups. Normally, isa,
and it's
dalawa,
like,
tatlo.
and yung tinuturo mo is like signature your style. Hindi mo masasabing,
Customized for each person. Kasi you may have strengths and you may have weaknesses. For example, in Dos Manos, originally,
oo,
it was my brother who trained a lot from the late Tony Diego, from Tony Diego. Kasi malaki siya, he was big, mas bagay siya sa long weapons eh. Again, nagka-interest kami bigla last few years na, hey, focus na tayo dito. As we met, kanina si Jericho, frustrated na swordsman. And we focus a lot on that now. So, again, I check your background first.
So you bring out whatever is hiding there,
Yes,
whatever
yes,
little
yes.
potential or para bang, and that's, you train to develop that particular,
Yes. Hindi kami cookie cutter approach.
right?
It depends.
Yung kailangan meron pattern, tapos i-duplicate nyo yun sa
Yes,
lahat
yes,
ng mga
yes.
students nyo.
Iba-iba.
Okay, so that's what makes it interesting. So when you're fighting, it's really your own personal style.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, actually, to add to that, yung sa Duelo nga, it brought out that aspect of Carlos Hermanos kasi it was choose your own weapons.
Choose your own weapons. With
With-
different weapons.
you know,
Second
you could bring anything you want. No, if you wanted knives, you wanted swords, you wanted two
Spear.
swords, spear. Si Doc Sixto brought a spear, and
Spear and
everyone was
shield.
disoriented kasi
So,
parang
oh.
you weren't used to it.
So para bang whatever you're comfortable with or whatever, kasi syempre if you're comfortable with a weapon, you'll fight better, di ba?
Exactly.
This is something that
Yes.
like you touch it and it feels awkward. So if you like shorter weapons, if you feel that this is something that works better in your spectrum, use the short weapon.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly.
If it's a long weapon, I mean, para bang you wanna attack something a little bit from further distance, pwede rin yun.
Pwede
right?
yun, pwede yun. We allow that, yeah.
Okay, alam mo yun nami-miss ko bago tayo mag-break. Yung ano, wala na ako nakikitang nunchucks eh. Nung bata ako, that was very, very popular, di ba? Meron pa rin ba?
Sali ka sa sunod, pwede rin.
With nunchucks?
Oo,
Oh no,
why
I'll hit
not?
myself in places that I don't even want to think. It's painful. Okay, guys, we'll get back to you. We'll have a little demonstration after our break. So don't go away, opinion leaders. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Opinion Leaders, and this is the fun part. I don't really know whether I'm a football referee, whether yung para bang ano ng Star Wars, yung one of those kinakast pa lang na character ng Star Wars, mix of ano, Middle Eastern and Martian. But anyway, we're gonna have a little demonstration right now of what happens sa duelo, di ba? So itong suot ko na ito, this is protection in the actual fight.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then I noticed that you actually feel secure here. Kanina hindi ko, I could not imagine. But I mean, for our televiewers, malayo kasi yung cage from the face. Eh. So if you get hit, there's no way that it'll actually hit your face because medyo malayo yung ano yung spacing ng
Safe naman ah.
safe naman
Safe.
siya. Mabigat lang Okay. Doc, so tell me what they're going to do. I'm holding two different irony sticks over here, and you, like you said, choose your own weapon, di ba?
Yeah.
So para bang you can choose the longer one, which is ito. These are both the same length,
Yeah.
so I can choose a shorter one.
And you can use both actually.
Even if it's short and long, ba? Like this
yes.
one to attack and this one to defend.
Yes,
If
yes.
it's more comfortable for you to ward off with the shorter
Yes,
stick.
you may do that.
Kasi parang the long one is awkward. Kung ako, I'll use a shorter stick. Lahat dito, lahat hindi pwede dahil masakit dyan. Okay. Okay, Doc. Anong gagawin dito?
Papakita kami ng techniques ngayon na na-apply talaga namin. Full speed, full contact.
Okay.
Okay, itong first technique, it's called Kabayan.
Mhm.
It's from Carlos Hermanos. Alfred, kasi nagagawa ni Alfred sa tournament to eh.
Okay.
He's done it quite a few times. A lot of times.
Okay. So, we give him the floor.
So, okay, Alfred?
So I usually hold my sword here. If he hits me, my sword is from here, from my side. If he tries to hit me, I bring it down.
Oh. Okay. Alright. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's simple.
And that precise.
Yes, it has to be precise. If it's not precise, you get hit
Okay.
and you get hurt.
Okay.
Okay, here's another technique.
Mhm.
We call this pauyon. Again, this is one of the techniques we've done a lot during our sparrings and competitions. Ito, papalo si Alfred. Tapos, yun ang counter na gagawin ni Jericho. Can you show it again? Yung
Okay.
sword galing sa baba.
Sa baba. Okay.
Yun. Ganun lang, ganun kadali lang.
Ganun lang kadali.
The techniques that we use are very direct.
Aha.
Hindi kami...
Hindi katulad ng Kung
Fancy.
Fu, di ba? Yung Kung Fu na ang dami pang mga paikot-ikot, ganun.
Meron naman kung fu na mas direct naman eh.
Sige, tatanggalin ko na ito para bang nahihirapan yata ako magsalita eh. Mamaya na yan. Okay. So, those are the basic things.
Yes.
Okay. And what about if you give them ganun din?
Same technique.
Same technique
Same
also.
technique, yeah.
Same technique. So that's basically, you use it for self-defense or it's really for for exhibition.
No,
And really for attack.
originally, it was for fighting. It's not for
It was re-
exhibition.
It was really for fighting.
It's a fighting art, yeah. It's not for, hindi siya pang entablado.
Okay, so in other words, it's really for hardcore, passionate fighters. There's nothing about this that's yung para bang there's nothing flowery about this sa totoo lang.
Passionate, yes. Hardcore, Yeah.
Di ba? I mean,
Yeah.
syempre, hindi lang pwede hardcore dahil we can't really hurt ourselves. But definitely, this can do damage, right?
It will.
Okay.
If you're not careful.
If you're not careful.
We've done things naman to make it safe.
Mhm.
So, injuries sa amin, last 2 tournaments, it's basically nil eh.
Zero?
I got, yeah, 0. I got accidentally hit here
Yeah, you
at the back
showed
of my
me that.
head.
You
Yeah.
showed me that with the Japanese guy.
No, it's with one of my students na 15 years ko na tinuturuan.
Mhm.
He likes to hurt me. So,
But every good student would like to, di ba? Sa totoo lang naman yun naman ang totoo, di ba? Manggigigil ka talaga sa, sa nagturo sa'yo. So, yun ang But how do you see this in the future? Any developments na para bang anything that you're going to integrate?
okay, we are setting up a
Yun.
club, a gym.
Okay.
It's in BF Homes. It's called The
Take
Forge.
this time to promote
It's
it.
called The Forge.
Mhm.
Tinatayo na siya. It'll be open by December
Okay, of this year.
of this year. We're planning to set up classes there.
Mhm.
We're planning to set up seminars, classes, and tournaments. Doon na namin gagawin yung
Doon
home
na,
base.
it's like it's a whole one-stop shop, parang
Yes.
ganon.
And one thing is we want to keep it open. Let's say you're from a different system, you're from a different club.
Mhm.
We would like to invite you to come over
Mhm.
and we can test techniques. Kasi ayoko ng my club is better than your club. Tapos
Which
pare-
usually happens when you're young, di ba?
Yes.
When you're young.
Uh, I'm an old man.
Mhm.
Mas gusto ko na i-check it. O go-work ba o hindi. Like, one of the techniques na pinakita kanina ni Alfred, it's called kabayan.
Mhm, yung una.
Nung una, before, I was skeptic kung mag-work yun. Sinubukan namin, full speed. Nag-work.
Mhm.
Another thing, si Jericho, dati, may guard kami. Yung basic guard kasi talaga nakataas eh. Si Jericho, mahilig tumingin sa ibang sources, sa mga European manuals. Some of the guards are low.
Mhm.
Sabi ng iba, di mag-work yan. It's too telegraphic. You'll get hit. Ang sinabi ko, subukan natin. Nung sinubukan ni Jericho, sinubukan ko, hindi naman kami tinamaan.
Mhm.
So, again, we would like to create a venue where we can test things para hindi tayo theoretical.
Right. Kasi syempre, you will never really know how it works until you
Until you
actually try
actually,
practical application sa totoo
Exactly,
lang.
exactly.
Etong suot ko na to, this is for
Protection.
protection lang talaga
Kasi,
ito. So, you use, like, let's say when you're holding a sword,
yes. Or ito, when we
Or-
spar. Kasi if this hits your hand and you don't have protection, you'll break your fingers.
so this is what you use.
Yes, but it's not.
But it's kind of thick, di ba? Para bang mararamdaman mo ba yung weapon mo? Masyado, syempre, iba eh. Ako, parang mas kontrolado kung
kung
kamay ko.
walang-
Syempre, of course, it's more risky, di ba? Pero iba yung feel eh.
Again, you have that choice.
Aha.
Mas may control ka, pero walang protection. Sa tournament, bahala ka eh.
Bahala ka. You want
Pwedeng
protection, you
gusto mo
want...
walang headgear, it's up to you.
But if they whack you on the head, wala ka nang magagawa, di ba? They
Exactly.
whacked you on the head. But it's a risk that you have to take because you came in yung parang
Yes.
So you could come in, you can come in like an astronaut if you're scared to get hit, di ba?
Pwede.
Full everything.
Pwede rin.
Or you can just come in with yourself if you're, kumbaga, confident that maiilagan mo yung opponent mo, you're fast enough, you're skilled enough, then
It's up to you.
I think so. No real rules. In the rules to development.
Actually, dine-develop pa namin eh. Actually, kasi in contention ba, ano ba talaga yung nag-work? So, as of now, we do a lot of fights,
Okay.
sparring. So, check pa namin ano yung maganda.
Okay.
So, tinitignan pa namin kung ano yung best na rules.
So this is the best time to join because it is in development. So Doc Sixto,
Exactly,
would
yes.
you like to invite our televiewers, especially yung para bang when you finally have your venue, if they're interested, if they can reach you through any Facebook page or email
Forge.
address?
Okay. Yes, once our gym is open, I think we plan to start by giving free seminars to people who want to try it out. You can look for us sa Facebook page namin, The Forge.
You will answer any question.
Yes, we will answer any questions.
Okay. Siguro the next duelo, pwede ba akong mag-cover?
Sige.
Sige.
We'll invite you, yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much, Doc Sixto
Thank you so
Carlos.
much.
And of course to Jericho, and then to Alfred, and to Fernan, and to Dax kanina. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences. And again, once again, I think this is very important. Self-defense or whatever, fighting skills, it's very important, diba? Because hindi all the time you're in a car, it's not all the time you're safe. When some crazy untoward incident comes or circumstance, you should be able to
Yes,
defend
yes.
yourself. At the very least,
Yes, yes.
Okay, so thank you so much. Also to Dr. Carrie Legaspi of Total Skincare, to Marie France for Men, thank you so much. Mr. Pep Silvestre of Pep Salon, thank you for my hair. And to the staff and crew of GNN, and for my new weapons. This is something I gotta learn. Parang pwede rin ito pang skiing eh. Pwede rin siyang pang lahat-lahat na. Pero that's good. At least we're promoting Filipino raw materials, and para bang this is proudly Filipino from the from the concept to the to the application, di ba? Okay, thank you very much. See you again next week. Bye-bye.